Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Today on Tallidus Plays, we're starting up a new Project Zomboid Build 42 playthrough. And this one we made a couple of adjustments. Namely, we are introducing our first mod into the game. It's a fairly straightforward mod, but it is pivotal in creating a much more sort of long-term playthrough experience, and that is the mod called They Knew. Now in the mod They Knew, it basically adds one zombie to the world, and this is a zombie in a black hazmat suit. I should say one type of zombie. You can find multiples of it as you play. But if you find this particular kind of zombie and you dispatch it, they can be carrying a zombie virus cure on them. So it enables you to basically cure yourself if you've been bitten. But again, you need one cure each time you are infected. So it's not a permanent cure or vaccine by any means. But it will help us sort of extend our playthrough and give us a chance to sort of survive a little bit longer in the apocalypse. So that way we're not totally worried about getting a bite, ruining our whole playthrough. Again, this is my starting loadout. I'm picking Burglar for the extra light-footed, nimble sneaking, and of course the ability to hotwire cars. And to offset that, we are picking Prone to Illness, Slow Healer, Weak Stomach, and Slow Metabolism, which gives us also high weight to start with. So fitness could definitely be better. But otherwise, we're looking pretty good. Let's create our character. Let's start our playthrough of Build 42 with They Knew mod activated. Today we are also starting... Turn on the lights here. We're also starting a little earlier in the day. We've changed a few options here. It's changed to 5 a.m. start time to give us a little bit more of a head start on the first day. We've left most of the options to the standard settings for a Survivor playthrough. Not Apocalypse, but Survivor. Again, the idea of starting on 5 a.m. is to give us a chance to catch that 6 a.m. Cooking show. If we miss it, I'm not going to worry too much. Because again, we don't seem to have very good weapons to start. We have a butter knife. That's all we've got so far. Tell me I've got something else usable in here. And also we are starting in a different location than standard. Zoom out here just a little bit. Oh, go to the map. Oh, it's too dark to read. Yes, that's right. We need appropriate lighting to read our map. You can't really tell, but we are, I believe it's called Westview. So we're going to go next door to the neighbor's house, if I could dodge some of these zombies. Actually, let's go this other way. Over here. See if I can catch the early morning show. Again, this might be a short run-through. If I don't get a better weapon very quickly, we're in trouble. The Build 42, they do start you with a gun. The 9mm or the M9 pistol. However, it's very loud, so I'd rather not be firing that off. Let's see if I can let those zombies kind of walk outside. Maybe I can sneak inside here to use their TV. Oh, well, that's not a good sign. Get through in the kids' room, maybe. Okay, this is not a good sign for me. So we're going to go out the front door and just run away. Use a few trees to block our line of sight from said zombies. I'm going to go up here and see if maybe this house right here is uninhabited for the time being. Again, we do have our butter knife, but I don't think that's going to do too much damage to these zombies. Fortunately, it looks like we don't have much of a choice. Let's see. This might be a sticky situation. Let's go over here. Maybe I can jog into this house. There's a chance we might be restarting this run pretty quickly here. If I get knocked out sooner than later. Okay, we've already broken our knife. That's not a good sign. You know what I can do is click on this TV, though. And turn to Life Living and see if we can catch our show. Hey, cook show, look at that. Now if I can find a weapon, we're in luck. Doesn't look like we're going to have too much luck, though. Let's see if I can find something in the Shelf here, a fillet knife. That is something. We'll grab one in the primary, and we'll put one on our belts. And we'll watch this chicken noodle soup here. We'll pretend there's not zombies beating down the door. And I'm a man committed to my skills, so I'm going to go ahead and open this window. We might be using this to make our escape as soon as they bash the front door down. That's what we call a hot drop. Oh, and there they come through the window. I'm going to go ahead and climb through this window. And close this. Oh. A zombie might be coming through anyways. Okay, so now we can close that. We'll grab the wristwatch, throw that on our left wrist. Okay. Again, another zombie's coming through that tree, so we'll just walk away. Maybe if I could check the shed. I get lucky here. Yes, it is open. Thank goodness. Alright, so we have an iron pipe. These are much better for fighting zombies. So equip that as our primary. We'll throw the other one on our back. Okay. And here they come. Screwdriver, we'll grab that for the belt. Saw, we can grab that for future usage. Not too shabby. Again, I'm going to avoid fighting for now. We can probably just run away. We'll go around the house again, break line of sight. The fence should slow most of those guys down. Let's check the mailbox, and we'll keep going down the road here. Again, you need to stay very mobile in these early hours of the playthrough. If you get stuck just fighting one zombie after another, you are going to be in a whole world of hurt. I'm actually getting a flashback. Once upon a time, on a previous playthrough, I actually had a pretty long-term base that I set up at this exact house. So, let's see. This might be worth checking out. Of course, we got zombies pouring out of the front windows. That's never a good sign. Again, I'm not starting on the any of the smaller areas. This is Westview, which I believe is the most populated starting area that you could start in. Remove this glass and hop in here. Change this to life and living, because of course, why not? Turn down the power. We'll turn the TV off as well for now. Pop into that front door. And we'll do a house check. I think we got a zombie in here. Yeah, this seems to be a very populated little pocket of Westview. Again, it only gets worse and worse the further you get into the downtown area. Again, I didn't really make a lot of adjustments to the standard settings, so these are your typical sort of urban-focused zombie density settings. Which basically just means that wherever there were more people, there are also more zombies. We have some delicious chocolate milk. We're going to drink that, of course. And you know what? I might grab the salami. Yeah, we'll grab this to snack on later in the day. It's not looking too good as far as a long-term base, though, so we're going to keep moving. I will grab this pen, though, so we can mark our map as we continue through the world. And we'll take a drink from the sink. That was a weirdly loud drinking noise. I don't know why. Anyways, maybe there's a high-pressure sink or something. Hey, this is unlocked. Alright, we got a respirator. That's actually good for a little bit of defense, but I'm not going to wear it right now because it's something that will make you very hot. And you don't want to be running around with a respirator attached to your face if you can avoid it. And we're going to keep moving our way up this way. Now, again, I don't have any of the map actively unlocked, so we only see what we see. However, I'm not going to lie, I do have a fairly decent understanding of the layout of Westview from previous playthroughs. So I kind of have an idea of where downtown is, I know that there's obviously the road up to Louisville on the east side of town, the gas station, and the Mega Mart. So, but again, the assumption is that we started in our original house, right? So our character lives here. They should know a little bit about the town they live in, right? That's at least my head canon for this. And by this point, you all know how to fight zombies, but always try to pace yourself. Especially in build 42, they introduced muscle fatigue. So you don't just get exhausted, your arm will actively get sore from whooping up on all these zombies. So keep that in mind. Also, wear a digital watch when possible. Gives you better readouts, including your temperature and your date. Which you might not think is that important, but it does come in handy later. Oh, one other adjustment I did make from the standard build 42 settings is I made seasonality not affect plant growth. Because they introduced this thing where, you know, carrots only grow during carrot season, and potatoes only grow during potato season. And it's technically more realistic, but really kind of puts a damper on any attempts at making a legitimate farm in the game. So we just unticked that seasonality of plants. Got a few more Zeds out front. Ooh, actually a good chunk of them. That van in the middle of the street doesn't look too bad. So that might be a potential hot wiring. We also passed a Jeep much earlier on when I was running around in the first hour or so of the game. So I'll go back and check that out a little bit here. Zombie in the house. I had a hunch. Did I kill the zombie just by knocking it over? I guess I did. What do you know? We'll let this one out if possible. Oh, oh. There we go. We'll just let him crawl out here. And look at that. We attracted more from the interior of the house there. Oh. See, I don't like that. When they crawl and knock you back. It's a quick way of getting bit. Usually it's not a big deal if there's just one, but in this case, they still knocked me a little bit, so that's unfortunate. We got our residence key. Again, I only really grab one for the residence that I'm at, because usually where you kill them, that's the residence that they have the key for. But it's a great way of being able to get into the basement, because most of these basements are locked, in my experience. And we will kind of let them come to you, right? If you keep chasing down zombies and you sort of run through their ranks, soon enough you'll find that you're surrounded. So I let them kind of individually walk towards me. Also, that means we're moving less, so we're literally just, you know, using less of our personal energy to get to said zombies. Always double check your surroundings before you explore a basement. Kick the lights on and see what we got. This looks like a pretty good. We got a welding torch, oxygen tank, 2 welding torches. Okay, a file. So a very good kind of mechanic area to do stuff in. We're gonna keep this in mind because this is really not a bad find for tools. However, we're not gonna lug all these around because they are quite heavy. So what I'll do is use my handy dandy blue pen and mark the map here. Again, it'll be blue ink, but basically I could just take a little mark. Again, I don't like to put like a home because this isn't necessarily a base setup, but I'll just put a little arrow to indicate that right here, yes, there is useful items in the basement. Now you can also make custom notes. You can actually type out individual customized text notes on a map, but generally speaking, as long as there's an arrow, you know, you can kind of remember where it is. Let's see, this is a cool magazine for learning some recipes. We'll grab that. Again, I don't want to grab too much useless loot right now because we don't have a bag yet. So you got to find that first bag to start helping you carry things before you start grabbing everything you find in a drawer. So right now you can see here our weight is 11.3 out of 12. So we really can't carry too much more until we find a bag or a satchel. And look at that on the ground. You can barely see right where my mouse is. Click the ground. You see here there's Plumabug the Aphid, which is, I'm guessing, a plush. Let's place it on the bed. That is kind of adorable. I didn't realize they put that in. I don't know if that's new with the build, or if that's just something I haven't found, but it's a plush-a-bug. So, again, technically trash. It doesn't have a purpose, but, I mean, do Pokemon have a purpose? No. Are they adorable? Yes. So. And then what do we have here on the counter? We got a note, puzzle cube. Let's see, anything? Diet Cola plastic bottle. So we'll grab this. That'll be good because we can drink all the Coke out of it and fill it with water. Also, we can go ahead and eat that salami we picked up earlier. I'm just going to eat half of it for now because it's a big old chunk of salami. So we eat the other half later. We will drink our Diet Coke and we'll fill that with water. Again, it helps a little bit with your thirst, but we basically really want that bottle. So again, we can fill the empty plastic bottle. And look at that, we've got it's a 2-liter bottle. That's actually not bad. It's a little heavier though, 2.1. And I believe these are kilograms. The encumbrance is in kilograms. So who knows? We'll see. I do want to find at least a temporary base though, because I've already got a lot of extra items on me. I've got the M9 magazines. That's 2.5 kilos. Of course, the gun itself is what? 2 kilos, and then we have the box of ammo is almost another full kilo. Again, my standard operating procedure, we throw all the fresh items in its respective freezer. That way they get nice and frozen up, they stay for a little bit longer. I am going to browse across the street. I don't know if I want to fight more zombies or stay for the 12 o'clock show. I think we might try to get across the street and do one more yard. And then I'll go back for the 12 noon show there. I might just knock out a couple zombies and check this van, and then we'll go back. Let's see if I have the time for it. I could probably sneak a peek at this under the hood real quick. Let's take a look. Ooh, this is a nice van. Very nice van. All it needs is gas, and that'll be very useful. So we'll probably hotwire it just so it's ready to rock whenever we do get gasoline. Alright. So yeah, it's 11:30. I say we go back to the house over here. We rest up a little bit since we're feeling a little out of breath. And we got to figure out our weight. Again, I could just make this the temporary base. It does have all of its windows. I guess I did smash this one, didn't I? It has most of its windows. Oh, but you know what? There's no TV. Duly noted. So now we're going to run across the street here. You know, let's go back. Yeah, let's go back over here. I think there is the TV back here. So again, if we can catch that show. Also, I don't think I went into that shed yet. We'll look into there. Yeah, I'm just going to pop back over here. Hop in the back door. I mean, this house isn't too bad. It's got a broken window as well, but otherwise it's in decent shape. We can always clean up that glass. Sounds like we have a zombie out front, though. Let's see if we can knock him out real quick. Yeah, he's hanging out here. Switching to our backup pipe. We come in here so we can watch woodcraft while we fight the zombie. Gotta get that carpentry skill up. Again, I make a very strong point to try to watch these shows in the first week so that we can get our skills up a little easier. We're also going to chill on the couch here because we got a little more exerted there. Body status is still okay. Again, this is where you'll see your fatigue muscles. I left those on. A lot of people like to turn them off in build 42. But I think it's one of those things that actually does sort of rein in your combat in a good way, so that you're not really like a one-man tank. You can't really run around like Rambo and just kill everything with sledgehammers and stuff. You have to really pace yourself and kind of plan your routes accordingly. I'm sure I'll regret saying that later on in the playthrough, but for now it kind of makes sense. Also with the They Knew mod that I'm using, I didn't want to give myself too many other benefits, if you know what I mean. For now, I think, let's see, I might actually drag this body out here, out the front door. Again, dragging the bodies take a ton of energy. You'll see here, I'll go really bad here really quick. So we're just going to drag him right out front, and then we'll drop him. See, we're already highly exerted. Excessive exertion. Space bar to drop him there, and we're exhausted. So that took a lot out of us. But again, it is good to kind of keep the interior of, even a temporary base, you want to try to keep the interior clear of corpses in general. So we're going to offload all these bullets and guns. Leave that in here, as well as the magazine. We broke this broken iron pipe, so we don't need that anymore. The wood saw will leave as well. And we know who we are, so we'll leave our ID card. Again, I think they give everything weight in build 42, which includes, unfortunately, things like keys now have a weight. So that's a big bummer. I'll drop one fillet knife. We'll keep the other one, though, as a backup weapon. So we have our iron pipe that we're using, and then we have the backup fillet knife on our belts, as well as the screwdriver. Eventually we'll find a hammer. And again, if you keep the screwdriver and a hammer on you while you're exploring, it'll let you disassemble doors, which is a great way to kind of get into basements, which are frequently locked. Okay, my guy is panting, so we're going to sit down and just kind of chill for a little while here. I could probably read a book while I do this. Actually, I should have read the magazine. Let's have him just read his comic book. Again, he's not really even close to being bored yet. It's the first days of a zombie apocalypse. Not exactly a boring time, but it's multitasking. He can read this, he can rest, he'll stop panting. There you go. So again, when it's recently read, I believe it does no longer help you out. We will save it though. I don't know if eventually you can read it again. Like a good book, you can read it later on and enjoy it again a second time, but I believe the way it works is it's sort of a consumable item. Once it's read, it's not going to really help you out anymore. We're going to fast forward actually while we sit here until we regain a little bit of stamina. Okay, and then once the moodlet goes away, I like to wait another like 20-30 minutes in game. There we go. So it's only 3 p.m., so we still have a good amount of time left in the day. Now, part of the reason that we are getting so out of breath while we're doing this is because we have the high weight and the slow metabolism. We're also out of shape. So those are all lending towards our current situation of getting winded as we are. But we did all that mainly to afford our burglar perk, but also our keen hearing perk. Now, keen hearing will basically let you have a little bit of eyeballs in the back of your head. If a zombie approaches within, I believe it's like 10 feet behind you, you'll see them, even if you're looking in the complete opposite direction. And I cannot begin to tell you how many times that has saved a run for me. So keep that in mind. Let's check the inside here. I'm going to check the trunk of the van. Ooh, look at that. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Okay. This has a sledgehammer in the trunk. Zomboid fans will know how big of a find this is so early in a playthrough. Finding the sledgehammer day one, it really is pretty awesome. We also have a hammer, so we'll grab that, throw it in our pack. And then look at that, a bunch of colas and pops in the coolers. This is definitely a, well, you can see right here, Penn S. Ham Construction. Oh, and I'm sorry, I kept saying West Side earlier. We're in West Point. So, C West Point instead of West Side. And look at this. I mean, we got sledgehammer, the railroad spike puller, which is a crazy heavy. These are all super heavy, so we're leaving them in the trunk. But But yeah, this is going to come in handy quite well. So we'll go ahead and hotwire this van. Actually, we might have to kill the zombie first before we spend time hotwiring. Also, I don't know if I can actually hold this iron pipe in two hands. Let me check here. No, okay. If you can equip something in two hands, it's more effective than holding it in one hand. So generally speaking, that's what you want to do. Oh, look at that. We even have the key to the vehicle itself. So I don't even have to hotwire it. Also, we'll grab these alcohol wipes. That'll be good. And the nice thing about vans like this is you can access the trunk while you're in the driver's seat. Which is, you know, one of those conveniences. It's not like a crucial thing to have in a vehicle, but it is a very nice convenience. Let's check out this house here. See what we got inside. I am pretty excited about finding that sledgehammer so early in a run, though. I spoke a little too soon there. I got a little too excited. We're going to run away. Basically just run away from whatever alarm you just tripped, because it'll start drawing all the zombies in the vicinity. Again, I'm going back this way because this is the last place we were killing zombies. So we know that they're less likely to come through here. Because we do have this one fella. But basically what you want to do when this happens is either get inside, maybe even get in a basement, but basically be somewhere where all the zombies walking by are not going to see you. I even like to crouch when I'm inside, because there's a good chance we'll see zombies kind of walking through the woods, heading towards that house alarm. That is very unfortunate, especially, again, it's one of those little lore things that I think would be nice, is if the burglar was less likely to trigger a house alarm, or if they even gave him the option to see the percentage chance of a house alarm being at a given house. I'm going to grab this pickle and the pear, because we'll eat those for our evening meal. But sure enough, yeah, you can see there's another zombie walking up. So we will fight a few of these for the sake of keeping this a little thinner. You can see, again, look at that. All those zombies. 20, probably about 20, 25 zombies surrounding that house now. So we know what we'll be doing the next probably day and a half or so is spending a little bit of time picking through all these zombies. So what I'm going to do is approach the area and try to pull some, get their attention. And this just means basically walking within their view, so they start coming towards me. Again, luckily when the alarm goes off, and that one didn't last as long as they can sometimes last, but when the alarm goes off, the zombies will start to migrate away eventually. So they don't stay there forever. But it is good to keep in mind that, you know, this is now a hotspot area for zombies. There we go. Also, sneaking isn't the worst idea when you're trying to attract just a couple zombies, so you don't pull the whole horde. Also, it will level up your sneaking ability by sneaking near zombies that don't see you. I think if they can see you, it doesn't really level you up. So I'm not really gaining much right now. I'm just trying to pull these two away so I can fight them in a more controlled area. We're going to go right behind this house. We'll fight these guys. We'll check the shed. And then we'll go back to our temporary base to watch the 6 p.m. show. There we go. 1 and 2. Looking good. Again, I might have opened this already. Let's see. You know, I think I have gone through here before. That's okay. These guys I'm not going to worry about fighting. We're going to just break line of sight. And again, when I say break line of sight, I mean you run behind a tree to where you can't see them, they can't see you. And then if you sort of change your direction a couple times, they will basically go to where they thought they saw you last. And if you break line of sight 2 or 3 times, you're pretty much going to be able to sneak away from the zombies without having to fight them. Just be cautious of moving through trees because you can't see on the other side, so they might pop out and get you. So keep that in mind. Again, it looks like some of them have gotten inside the house, which is unfortunate. Turn on the TV, and we'll try to keep them outside while we fight. It does look like a few have found us. And unfortunately, we have just been scratched, possibly bitten. We're going to find that out momentarily. So, again, very foolish on my end. Should have created a little bit more space when I was fighting. But this is also a good time to test out our mod. So here we go. We have a laceration on our lower torso, and we are bleeding. So we need to find a way to bandage this. Again, bandages tend to be in bathrooms. I'm closing this door for now. Okay, there's not a bandage in there. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, we'll right-click here, and we can disinfect it with the alcohol wipe. And then we need to shred up something. We're going to use our socks. We will drop our socks, right-click them, and oh, those are not good enough. Let's use our shirt then. We will rip our shirt. We have to use this as a makeshift bandage for the time being, just to stop the bleeding. It's taking me a while because I am in quite a bit of pain here. Let's see there, we got laceration, pain, bleeding. Now I've already used the alcohol wipe on it. We're going to right-click and we're going to clean the bandage. So you don't want to use a dirty bandage if you can avoid it. Up here now we have a fresh rag. We will apply bandage to the lower torso. There we go. Again, that is stabilizes. We're in pain and we are bandaged, but we have stopped bleeding. We also have a couple of rags to use because the rags don't really work that well, so they will get dirty pretty quick. Again, if we click on this, we'll see when it gets dirty. Having said that, we'll turn this off. And there's different percentages. If a zombie causes a scratch or a laceration, I think a scratch is like 7% chance of being zombified. A laceration, unfortunately, I think is like 25%. And a bite is 100%. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, we have a mod installed called They Knew, which actually gives us the chance to find a cure for our zombie infection. Now, again, this won't vaccinate us. We could still be infected again in the future, but it will cure any existing infection that we have of the zombie virus. So, the only catch is the only zombies that carry the cure are zombies wearing black hazmat suits. So they're pretty easy to spot in the wild, but what you're going to want to do is basically find a vehicle and then drive around searching for that zombie with a black hazmat suit on. And in this case, I do recall there was a red Jeep somewhere down here, I believe. So we're going to see, hopefully that has some gasoline inside of it. We can hotwire it, maybe drive around and look for a potential cure. Again, I was not bitten, I was lacerated, so there's a chance I'm not infected at all. But I'd rather find the cure just to have it. And again, your character will present symptoms of zombification, infection, after about half a day to a day. And they'll turn into a zombie after 2 to 3 days' time, if not treated and infected. So, some of the symptoms are like being nauseous, being queasy, increased body temperature, basically a fever. And there goes my iron pipe, so that's broken. We'll drop it. Switching to the fillet knife. And there goes my fillet knife. That also broke very quickly. We'll go ahead and equip the claw hammer. Okay, luckily they are already fairly damaged. Again, knives don't last a long time. That's why I'm not a big fan of attaching them to sticks to make spears, because they just tend to snap off after like 1 or 2 hits. You can get better, skilled with them as time continues, but I tend not to rely on them that much. Let's see how this Jeep looks. Ooh, this is really nice condition. Okay, that's what we're looking for. However, we are very drowsy and we're a little out of breath. So I might try to rest before we go looking for a potential cure. The door is locked. Can I convince them to come out the window? By whisper, maybe? No. I don't want to go through the window right next to a zombie. Oop. That was a loud gunshot. Again, presumably another survivor. Making their last stand. We're going to try to just draw the zombie out the back door. So we don't get zombie viscera inside the house. We'll likely be spending the night here. Alright. Let's grab this tank top because we don't have any shirt on, so we'll wear this for now. It's something better than nothing. Yeah, let's go inside. And we're looking for maybe a snack and also another weapon, because this hammer is not going to last much longer. Let's see, what do we have here? Milk chocolate bar. That's tasty. We will grab a drink from the sink and fill our bottle up. What do we have here? This is a satchel. So we can actually equip this on our back. It's not the best thing ever, but it is a usable bag. It reduces encumbrance by 65, so not too shabby. Also, it has a capacity of 12, so not the best bag, but definitely not the worst. That is tainted water. Birthday card. Ah, oh, somebody's birthday. So close to 4th of July. Okay, let's see here. Bathroom. Definitely need these painkillers, especially when you're injured. Because sometimes you can't fall asleep if you're in too much pain. We'll also do a wash. Wash yourself. And again, this just helps, because you can still get infected. Not zombie infection, but you can still get infected from the wounds. Oh, look at that. We have a vehicle key. I'm assuming that's to the Jeep outside, the Dash Rancher. So that's kind of convenient. A marker. I didn't know they had markers now. That's cool. Close the window up. And let's see. We have more cooking, so we'll grab that. And you know, this is not too shabby of a house either. The door is unlocked. Let's check the bedroom here. Yeah, this could be a nice little temporary base area. We'll switch to this t-shirt. I guess we put it over the tank top, so... What do you know? Either way, that works. I'm going to close up the windows here, sort of batten down the hatches, so to speak. And I think we're going to rest up for the evening. Can I access this one? Okay, nothing there. Okay. Yes, because my character is tired and out of breath, we'll rest up for the evening. We'll see how our pain is progressing with this wound. Also, let's clean our bandage before we do anything else. So for here, we can just remove the existing one, and we can replace it right away. I'm going to disinfect again, just to be safer. And then we'll use a rag to bandage this up. Now, disinfecting will not affect anything having to do with the zombie virus. Disinfecting just makes the wound itself a little more sanitary, and you're less likely to get an infection of the wound. But the zombie virus kind of operates on its own thing. The only thing that can affect that is the cure that I've added with the They Know mod. And again, it's called They Know because it implies that the reason that there's hazmat suit zombies walking around the map is because they were looking into the potential virus outbreak before it even began. So they literally knew before it occurred. We will set the alarm on our watch for 5:40. That way we have time to get to the TV to watch our early morning 6 a.m. show. Otherwise, I think I'm going to call that at night for day one of this playthrough. Again, we can't sleep because we're experiencing too much pain. We're in severe pain. So, that's why we have these painkillers. We can unpack, and I'll just take one of the pills. There we go. And that'll eventually reduce our pain to the point where we can go to sleep. The immense pain could wake us up during the night when the pills wear off. but we'll figure that out when and if it happens. And I'm hoping that I was able to stave off the zombie infection, or not stave off, but I'm just hoping I got lucky enough not to get fully zombie infected. So again, I think your pain has to be on the lowest moodlet, or not at all, in order to sleep. If I had a sheet, I would probably cover this window, so passing by zombies don't see me during the night. But this is a fairly low density area. Even though we're in West Point, this particular area is not that dense. So I'm feeling optimistic that we can just kind of chill here without much incident. Again, the in-game time is about 10 p.m. at night. So not the worst time to hit the hay here. There we go. Minor pain. I believe now we can sleep. So let's do that. Pretty eventful first day, though. Triggered an alarm, fought a bunch of zombies, found a sledgehammer, got lacerated, almost lost already. Always turn that alarm off as soon as you can when it goes off. No reason to draw any unnecessary attention to your location. Let's kick the TV on. Flip to our favorite channel. Again, I always kick down that volume to 3 when I turn the TV on. We can use the couch to rest a bit more. Again, we are still in pain, so we might pop another painkiller. We're also going to clean. We can do this right now, actually. Remove that. We'll disinfect one more time. And we will bandage with the rag. There we go. Again, it does cause extra pain when you disinfect, because you're sort of scrubbing the wound. You would know if you ever pour alcohol onto a cut, that's the pain. Definitely adds a little sting to the injury. Fast forward here through the cook show. Knows how to make a rabbit soup, I believe. And there we go. Done and dusted. We'll turn this off. And let's see. I will go to the sink here. We're going to wash the rags that we have. Let's wash dirty rag. Yeah. And then we can drink, and then we'll fill our bottle up. I don't recall that sink running sound effect of being so loud. It's like annoyingly loud. Also, I do realize that we didn't really find any good weapons in that house. So we're going to have to keep that in mind. I think I will actually be using this vehicle to drive around a bit today. It will be loud, and we will draw the attention of some unwanted zombies, but can't think of a better way to find a potential cure, just in case we do get infected with the zombie virus. I believe, again, the lore name is called the Knox Virus, since we're in Knox County, Kentucky. Also, I like how maneuverable these little Jeeps are, too. They're very easy to get in and out of places. You can kind of do a quick U-turn to cul-de-sac if need be. So, again, we're not trying to be a hero. We're not taking out hordes, and we're definitely trying not to hit zombies with this thing. Because I feel like the hood's going to crumple in a matter of seconds if we start plowing through zombies. But this will be a nice way to get the lay of the land in West Point here. While we scout for our hazmat suit zombie. And we can find some points of interest. So, we saw a duffel bag down there. We might come back around. Also, my survivor here is going to get very nervous, passing by hordes of zombies. And this bandage keeps getting dirty super quick. That's not fun. Unfortunately, part of my stats that I picked involved one called Slow Healer. So it is going to take a while to recover from this torso injury. This is a nice little, like, gas station kind of in the middle of town, so it's pretty accessible. For that reason, I'm going to try not to drag too many zombies nearby. But again, good spot to fill up. Again, we're looking for the cure, but also more weapons. So if I find maybe a hardware store. I'm gonna turn the car off and get out here. Sneak. Try not to draw zombies. If I can get into this bookstore, it's a really good early game find. To find any bookstore because you can get your generator magazine. Okay, we're turning this radio off because it's full blast. We don't really want zombies to come find it. Again, I hear somebody moaning and groaning, but hopefully they're not in this building. At least not in this room. Sounds like they're in the cafe next door, probably. Which again, in the first couple days, it's not the worst idea to start raiding cafes, food establishments, diners. Not a lot going on in that bookstore. Kind of a bummer. But again, yeah, they still have food that has not gone spoiled yet. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. I'm going to backtrack a little bit here and see a clothing store. This doesn't look very useful. This is all just clothing right now. It'll be useful later on, but for now I'm generally looking for weapons and early game items. There's a lot of Zeds here. I think we're going to hop back in the Jeep and get out of this area. Because again, we don't want to get surrounded in our current state. Also, it looks like we are actually getting a little cold. Is that correct? It's 50 degrees outside. Interesting. Definitely a cold front for July. Let's check here. Do we have anything in our glove compartment? No, I should have brought some snacks. Actually, let's turn the engine back off. I might sneak into Mindy's Eatery, since we are right next to it. That sounded like a scream. Also, here come the zombies. We're gonna go inside and do a little bit of fighting. Okay, again, I don't want to be caught, but we are going to go through the kitchen here. I know that there's a back door exit. Yes. So we have a way out. Always keep that in mind. Especially if you know there's a few zombies kind of on your tail when you go into any establishment. We will drink this cow's milk. That'll help out our hunger. So we'll grab some of these to go. Let's grab the cheese, mustard, fries, ham. You know, let's just grab this whole ham. Actually, throw that in a satchel for now. Everything else we're just going to leave because I need to stay mobile currently. I will grab this kitchen knife because it's better than nothing. We'll throw that on our belt. And let's double check the back. Is any of this usable as a weapon? You can use the plunger, but it's more hilarious than anything. It's not that useful. And I am going to head out the back door, so we'll let the zombies kind of come through. Yeah, we'll sneak around. Yellow buildings, I forget what they indicate. They're not residential like the orange ones, and not retail like the green. They might be like a hotel or a motel. Let's see. The Drake and what looks to be a little confectionery shop. So we'll head in here. And again, this is what I meant. You see the fresh bread, chocolate cakes, jelly donuts. These are all great things to find in the early game when they're still fresh. So we will supermarket sweep these all into our satchel here. The bread will be good. And you can throw these into a freezer so they last a little bit longer. But they will eventually go bad, just like any other food. Ooh, Rice Krispie Square. These last... I believe those pretty much last forever. They're super high sugar content, so... Again, this is not a bad find this early in the playthrough. It's still not weapons, though. Which is what I really want to find. So I'm going to jog back here. Again, I hear zombies, so we're crouching near the windows. I'm going to get all these donuts. Donuts make me go nuts. Let's be ready to fight when we come around this corner. Okay. Let's check the kitchen out here. Some pie dough, some more fresh uncooked bread. Butter. Butter is good. Makes you a little sad if you just eat straight butter, but it is very calorically dense. Not worried about grabbing too much else here. because it's all shelf stable, so we'll leave that for now. Let's check out the back of this. Oh, it's still locked, unfortunately. Yep, so is that. Okay, well, ooh, what do we have over here? Something. Oh, car fixation. Now that is where you're going to find some good weapons. So ideally, these zombies will meander further off to the east, northeast, and I can maybe try to check that out. We're not going to storm the area right now, though, because I don't feel super confident with my fighting ability. We will take a moment to change out our bandage again. Unfortunately, that also results in heavy, severe pain in the short term, but it is worth keeping your bandages clean. Tire iron, we'll grab that, throw that on our back. So that is not the worst weapon. It's about as good as what we're using, because right now we have the claw hammer, which does decent damage. The tire iron almost does the same amount of damage, so we'll keep using the claw hammer for now. And inevitably it will break. We'll switch to the tire iron after that. Map of West Point. Let's read this. Look at that. That's going to unlock all this as on our map. Again, we are right about here, actually. You can see on the map. And our base area is right about down here. So we've driven quite a ways off. Oh, the key was still in the ignition. Let's grab this key out of the ignition here. Unlock the trunk. It does seem like the engine is toast on this car. Let's take a peek at it anyways, but yeah, based on the indicator lights, the engine is no bueno. It's not the worst. It could be better. There's no gas, but technically it's functional. Probably not very reliable, though. This one seems like it's in decent condition, too, actually. Let's, through here. Ooh, take this adhesive bandage. And that vehicle key, excellent, so we don't even have to hotwire this one. The keys are being very kind to us so far here in West Point. And problem with a low condition muffler, aside from just being bad condition, is that it is very loud. I think the lower the condition, the louder the muffler is. Also, both of these tires, the back right, front left, are about to pop. So I'm not really going to be focused on getting that station wagon going anytime soon. I'll probably head back through Mindy's Diner, and we'll hop back in our Jeep. One exception being is if I can open this door. Okay, I hear a zombie in here somewhere. Do we have any weapons in here? Broom. Ooh, you know what? A wrench. Grab that wrench. The wooden rod can be used to make other weapons, but I'm not going to grab it right now. The brooms aren't terrible, but they also break pretty easily when you use them as weapons. There's a zombie banging on some door. We might hang out up here, actually, to watch the afternoon show. I swear, I think there's a zombie right in here. Let's see. Yep. Hopefully that's the only one. No, I hear somebody else, unfortunately. Clanging around. They're probably downstairs. Let's see here. We can eat some cheese. Do we have any items on us? Yeah, we have a whole bunch of these items, actually. So we'll eat a frosted donut. Now, I would like to get all these items in a freezer sooner than later. I don't know if zombies can see up to the second story or not, to be honest. I tend to avoid second story windows. Does sound like there's something poking around the doors or windows below us. But you know what? Let's keep searching around actually upstairs. We don't have to post up in one single apartment the whole time. I feel like there's somebody else up here. Ooh, someone's got the stereo system cranking here. Some life and living, and we'll turn it down. Turn it off, actually, for now. umbrella. We can actually grab this because I think you can actually use an umbrella like an umbrella. Again, I'm not 100% sure. We'll eat this fudgy pop. But if I'm not mistaken, the umbrella can be used to keep you from getting too wet when it's raining outside. So, again, that sounds like extreme common sense. But in terms of Project Zomboid, it's actually pretty nice to have the option. I think this is where the zombie's banging. Got a couple in here. Somebody lost his hat. I'm gonna wear that. Alright. Anything else useful around here? No, but let's kick this TV over to Life and Living because it's 12 o'clock. Must have been some sort of movie marathon going on. Everybody has the same movie channel on. Let's rest a bit, check our pain and our bandage. See, normally this would already be dirty by now, so this actually might be healing up a little bit on us, which is a good sign. Also, we are not seeming to be that queasy. And we're not feeling feverish right now. Our body temperature is going back down. It was elevated because of the fight, I believe. So, we might have gotten lucky, and again, I believe if you take a laceration from a zombie, it's a 25% chance of infection. So I think we got lucky on that first slash. I'm going to fast forward here a little bit, just through woodcraft. And I'm going to sit on the ground, though, just to rest up a little. Alright, that's the end of the show. Kick this off. And again, we know that we parked right in front of Enigma Books, so eventually I will get back down to our Jeep there. And we'll try to make our way back to our actual safe house with all of these delicious donuts in tow. Again, I want to get them in the fridge sooner than later so they don't all go bad on me. I'll actually grab these hamburger buns and these hot dogs. Have a nice... A lot of people have their 4th of July leftovers in the fridges, it seems, so good to know. Let's check over here. Again, one kind of downside is we didn't really get lucky with weapons today. We have not found very many weapons at all. But, you know, we found a few food items. Avocado, actually, like that. Got those omega fats. There we go. Nothing going there. I hear a zombie somewhere over here. I think that might be in the next building, though. This is a open apartment. Yeah, I think they're over here above Enigma Books, so... Let's run down here. I think there's one more apartment we can check out. Actually, can I open this up? Ooh, this is dark. I don't know what's in here. Is there a light switch? Let me see. I think this might be the light switch for the hallway. Yes. This looks like it's, oh, the washing machines. Okay, that's what all these are. Got the shared washing machines, more mops, more brooms. Nothing super useful for us. Another little swag pad up here. This is very spacious, to be honest. I wonder what rent was like in this area. This is nice. Nice digs. Canned food. We'll grab a can opener. I'm just not sure if I have one back at base. Again, it's a lot harder to open canned food without a can opener. Take a peek in here. Not a whole lot. I will grab this key for the Dash Bull Driver. I'm not sure what vehicle that's referencing. But we'll see. It's always better to have it than not. The armoire, nothing going. And back here is the bathroom. Pretty wide open apartments. Very fancy. Can we actually use the treadmill? I don't think so. That would actually be beneficial if you trying to, increase your fitness or your sprinting ability, is to actually be able to use the treadmill if you had it like hooked onto an electrical grid. But I suppose it would be a little bit loud, so that might be prohibitive there. Go cut back through this office. And... ooh, this is dark. Okay, there we go. Again, these water dispensers are great to put into your base. Again, I'm not sure exactly where we'll be making a permanent base, so we'll leave that for now. They're very heavy, so you basically have to have a vehicle right next to it. Throw it into the vehicle and drive it to wherever your base is. But it's just a nice way of having access to clean water. You have to fill it with clean water, though. And here come the zombies. We will fight these guys for now. Two, and here comes number 3. Now again, I'm trying to keep downtown West Point here not too overrun with zombies. Let's see here. So I'm going to only fight them in sort of short spats here. Whenever I can see a pocket of 3 or 4, we'll take those out. Otherwise, we will make tracks here. Let's check our map, though. On the way back, we want to go, can probably bang around here, down 4th, come back on Church Street, and then head back that way. Should be alright. And again, probably keep using this as our house, since we've offloaded a few items there already. Again, I'm keeping my speed at a manageable 30 miles an hour here. Police is always good to find. Full of useful weapons. You can find kind of nightclubs, nightsticks, more guns, and even bulletproof vests. Also potential bags, duffel bags. So we'll check out that police station later on in the playthrough. Be full of some good loot. What do we have over here? It looks like a little elementary school, maybe. Very small school. Just gonna keep driving around that. Again, we're trying to keep an eye peeled. I might have missed a couple already, but we're trying to keep an eye peeled for the black hazmat suit zombies. They are the ones carrying the cure for infection, which is always good to have. Actually, is that? No, that's just long hair. Okay. Again, that's the duffel bag I saw earlier. I might actually pull over and try to knock this zombie out. Because that duffel bag will be very handy. You know what? That's too many zombies. Yeah, that's too many zombies. Let's get out of here. Don't want to take on that much more than necessary right now, so drive away and go around here. Again, I try to plan my routes in sort of big loops. That way you're not backtracking through a large horde that's followed you anywhere. Convenient March, that might be handy to have. Pizza World. This is actually good in the early stages of the game. I don't think I want to stop here right now. Am I being followed? I have a few following me. Pizza World has a lot of perishable food, but I think for now we're going to head back to base. We'll maybe come by here on another day sooner than later. Again, I've kind of gotten out of sorts. I need to come back down 7th Street to get on to Main, and then we'll head up the base there. So we're going to go Main, 1, 2, the 3rd left will be base. Eventually I will be heading out of town, checking out some of the other local villages and towns, get more loot from around there. But for now, we're going to stick to West Point. Sort of set up a foundation for survival. So again, I'm skipping there. I'm going to go to Main Street, which is this one. And we know that on our 3rd left should be where our base is. And you can see all these zombies kind of trotting around. They do sort of pick up, sort of snowball into patches and groups sometimes. So you've got to be careful of getting them all hoarded up on you. you can probably hear I'm throttling the engine here. I'm trying not to go too fast. Again, you can also keep an eye on those RPMs. This is a good way to kind of throttle things out. But here we go. We're going to pull in to our... And I also like to keep things pointed outward, right? So if there's a huge horde coming at us, we can make haste and get out of here pretty quickly. So I always like to point my vehicles towards the exit of any given area before I park. And after a day of travel, let's check the status of our vehicle. It's got a little dinged up, I know, here and there, but overall it's pretty good condition still. Basically want to make sure your engine, muffler, and tires are good to go. Let's go inside and stock up our freezer with these delicious donuts. Also, I know we have that zombie kind of rotting away in our kitchen. We'll figure that out in a minute. Grab everything here that is fresh, throw it in the freezer. Try to maintain that freshness, as it were. Okay. And then the can opener we'll throw on the cupboard, appropriately enough. The umbrella we're also going to throw down there, and the wrench, because I don't really want those on me right now. Cooking magazine as well. I'm going to keep all these medical items on us for the time being. We don't need the West Point map anymore. The tweezers and the alcohol wipes, we'll keep those in our satchel. We're going to clean the rag and put our key on our key ring. Everything else we're keeping on us for the time being. Before I do much else, I'm going to go ahead and drag this body out back. I just don't want him stinking up the whole house, so we'll grab the corpse. And again, you want to be very economic when you're moving a zombie corpse. It takes a lot out of you. So try to move them just the bare minimum. Right there, it looks good enough. He's outside. So hopefully he shouldn't be stinking up the place. I could take these guys on, but for now, I might chill. Just sneak back inside here. Let's clean off some things, mainly the rag. We can wash. So we don't have enough soap, but I don't know if I'm using any soap. I don't really know what that's about. So who knows? Oh, it just says slower. I see. So we go a little bit slower if you don't have soap. Tidy up here. At 1800 we will turn on our shows. Also, don't forget to drink and fill your water bottle up. Huh. Interesting. The water seems to be... Is this water not infinite right now? It would appear as though the water is not functioning in this house, which is a bit of a concern. Electricity still works. I hope the water isn't out already. There's a chance the water goes out generally after 7 days, but not after 2 days. We're on day 2 of survival. There's no way the water's already run out. Interesting. Let's kick on the TV here. We'll rest up a little. And let's fast forward a bit. There we go. Okay, here we're learning about farming, it would seem. There we go. Agriculture up. Looking good. Alright. Done and dusted now. I'm liking this as a house less and less because we have a broken window in the bedroom and in the front. So I might actually grab all of my stuff and move down to that other house. Let's grab all this. Fill up our satchel with our fresh food. And the only issue with the other house is I don't think it has a TV. That's right, that's what it was missing. So, who knows? Grab the tire iron here. These are some followers. Okay, now let's see. If I go down, maybe there's a TV in this house. Let's check it out real quick. So I got a whole bunch of food, and that's pretty much it on me. Let's go down here and see. I can stock this house with some food, and if it has a TV and a functioning bedroom. It does have a TV. Okay, so this might be our sleeping quarters. That might be some storage. And again, we're a single person, so we can use as much as we need for survival. Whether it's space or resources. And I guess I came in through the front door. So we're going to go ahead and open this back door, just so it's unlocked. Close the window, and we're going to open this and throw all this food into the freezer. And wouldn't you know it, there's more food in the fridge, so that's actually not a bad deal. There's some basic inventory management here. I'm going to check the sink out as well. I'm a little concerned. If our fresh water is already turned off, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Again, all this stuff, we're going to move up into the freezer. So it stays better for longer. Let's check the sink here. Chrome sink, wash all clothing, water. So we need 46, we only have 20. Wash myself real quick, let's see what this does. Chrome sink, wash all clothing. Oh, we only have 18. I think the water is off already. Definitely would seem so. So that's not cool. What that means is in the extreme short term, we're going to need to really focus on getting garbage bags and building ourselves some rain collection barrels. Because otherwise, we will have no water. That might be the quickest I've ever seen water get turned off in any run of Project Zomboid. So, who knows? But for now, we know we have a decent little spot here. We can close these shutters. That's a good sleepable bed. If we throw a pillow on it, it would be even better. Because yes, pillows actually impact your sleep quality. Just like in real life, if you have a pillow, you'll sleep a little bit snugger. So we'll keep this all closed off. And you know, we actually are a little peckish, so we'll eat some of that. We can grab some bologna. Let's eat this baguette. Actually, no, let's eat the apple, because we can use that baguette to create a sandwich. Who doesn't like a good sandwich? Kick that TV off. Alright, so this is not a bad spot to kind of crash out for the evenings. I don't like that this window is broken, but what are you going to do? I will remove this broken glass, just in case we accidentally climb through the window. We're less likely to scratch our hands up. Also, I'll close the blinds on this window there, if I can click it. Just click on the other thing, right click maybe. Close curtains, there we go. Okay. So that's functional as a crash pad. We know we can spend the night down there, but there's no TV. And we know we can spend the night up there, but there's a zombie in the bedroom, and it'll pretty much exhaust me if I move it right now. So, you know, not a bad little area of the West Point vicinity. Let's check our wound here. Still looking good. It hasn't gotten dirty again, so there's a chance that this bandage will hold a little bit longer. I'm not going to remove it yet, though. Still keeping an eye on our temperature. Definitely not be a bad idea to find some more clothing to arm ourselves. Jackets, bulletproof vests, better shoes would definitely be a good idea, because I think we still have our standard normal shoes on. Yeah, if we find some combat boots, that would be cool. So before we call it a night, we're going to just browse some of these nearby houses. The guy's still in pain. That makes sense. He's still getting over that Laceration. Let's see. We have our... No. Again, I'm looking for the emergency broadcast channel. The way to find that is basically by searching any radio that you see and seeing if it is on the presets. Also getting a little drowsy here. Sounds like there's a zombie nearby. I don't think they've noticed us yet. Oh yeah, I think he's in the bedroom. Let's go out the front door. Using our trusty tire iron here. Back inside and peek around here. These trunks usually have good items in them. Unfortunately, that one's empty. Ooh, small backpack. That is nice. So this is even better than our current satchel that we're using. So we're going to replace the satchel with the backpack. And again, make sure you bring all of your items over to your new bag so you don't leave them behind. Definitely, I noticed the crowbar in here, which is amazing. That's going to go on my back. I'm going to keep using the tire iron in the short term because crowbars, you can't really, to my knowledge, you can't really craft them or repair them. So when they're used up, they're used up. But they are very, very effective at fighting zombies. You can use them with 2 hands. They're very strong. They do decent damage. And they help level up your maintenance since they're a blunt weapon. So a lot of good things about them. Let's grab just all this stuff right now. Why not? Not a whole lot going in that house. Let's head over here. Again, we're drowsy, but we're still functional. So if we have an officer here, let's see if she's got something useful. A key to the residence, we're definitely going to grab that for now. Holsters, I don't generally grab. The jacket I will wear, just because that does a little bit more bite and scratch defense. Nothing else looks too good. So yeah, we'll leave everything else for the time being. And again, I got that residence key because it'll generally open the nearest basement. Now down here, it looks like, unfortunately, this is an unfinished basement. So, find a couple of items. The spade is not a bad thing to find. The shovel. It can be used as a weapon. It does decent damage. However, the handle condition is pretty rough. So, we're more likely going to save that to use for farming or something else in the future. Propane tank. That's not a bad thing to have on standby. Also, snow shovel. Really good damage on that. It's a little heavy, but good damage. Saw. Let's actually indicate this on our map. Throw an arrow indicating that this is another potential area for items and tools in the basement. Because we can't really carry all that with us right now. We're almost maxed out. We have 10.5 out of 12 kilograms, so not too stressed out about grabbing all those items. And again, I don't really use propane or metalworking until a little bit later on in the playthrough. It's kind of a grindy skill getting into mechanics and metalworking, so usually I don't worry about it until after the helicopter event, because that will really decide whether or not we succeed on the rest of our playthrough. If you get past the helicopter event, you stand a much better chance. You can start focusing on those grinding skills, but before then it doesn't make too much sense to worry about. I guess there's a radio outside. Oh yeah, I see. There's a radio right behind. And do they have the channel? No. So let's turn that off. And again, I turn these off mainly to conserve the battery on them, but also because it attracts fewer zombies. They can hear the radios sometimes. Okay. Grabbing the fillet knife because it's in kind of rough condition already. These are all just pen and papers. So again, not the most useful house. First aid kit though, that's not a bad thing to grab. We'll put that in our small backpack. Flashlight isn't the worst idea either to grab early on in the game. Normally I like to actually choose the believe it's called cat size. It gives you like better vision at night. But because of the way Build 42 is structured, it's a little bit harder to pick some of those bonus perks at the beginning of the game. Looks like somebody here was at a party. And this must be the cop's car. Looks like it's in pretty rough shape. Let's check it out real quick here. Yeah, I had a hunch. So it's always good to look inside cop cars, though, because they tend to have very good equipment in the interior or in the trunk. Again, I'd like to just have one of these doors be unlocked, but if they're not, we're going to bash it in. So again, if we right-click on it, we should be able to smash the front right window. And we can just enter at our own volition. And let's see, let's check the front right seat. Glove box, there's the pistol. We'll grab that. We'll grab the 45 and the 1911 magazine, as well as the adhesive bandage. And then what we can do is press V and switch seats to the driver's side, which will let us unlock the trunk and all the doors. Check the back seats. Again. Okay, thankfully we could get out of those. It was unlocked. Forgot, normally there are prisoners back there, and they can't get out once they get in. Look at all this. We got a shotgun, more flashlights, M14 magazine, shotgun shells, 308 rounds. We're grabbing all this for a small backpack. And again, normally I don't stock up on guns so much, but we're headed right back to our base for the evening, so there's no harm in grabbing a little bit of extra items. Again, it's almost 11:30 p.m. local West Point time. So we're heading back to our base over here, the one with the TV and the food. And we'll offload all these new items that we found, and we'll call it an evening. We are unpleasantly hot, and that is due to the jacket that we put on, I believe. So we might actually take that off, but for now, let's go ahead and get all this inside first. And you know what, I'll just load up this front cabinet. So the shotgun is heavy, we'll take that off first. Everything else is in our bag. Yes, all the ammo, and you know what, first aid kit as well. We'll throw all that in. This will clear up some space. We'll see if this affects our temperature as well. Sometimes you get hot just because you're burdened. What is this? Sarcastic. Tony Williams. Interesting. Get rid of that. We're keeping all these good things. Let's go to the fridge and get rid of food. And I'm throwing this in the freezer for now. And then, let's see. Spade, the flashlight, and the comic books are all going in here. I'm going to put the pistol back up in the front with all the other weapons. Again, it's just good to keep like things together, so it's easier to sort of sort through later on in the game. Again, I've got items stashed between two houses now, so I'm already doing a great job at mixing all my inventories. Alright. And I think we're going to call that day number 2 of survival. Let's hit the head. Ah, too much pain, yes. Let's see here. Our wound is still healing. The bandage still looks clean, though, so we'll leave that. Let's take another painkiller. And then when this bad boy kicks in, we will call it a night. Set our alarm to wake up for another day. But I think we're going to call it for our first 2 days of survival on our Build 42 They Knew playthrough. We are still hunting for the zombie cure, but if you made it this far, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you want to keep up with our Project Zomboid adventures. And until next time, this has been Tallidus Plays.